Okay, we'll start. Okay. ದೇವರ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯಿಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ನಮಸ್ಕೃತ್ಯಂ ನರಂ ಚೈವ ನರೋತ್ತಮಂ ದೇವಿಂ ಸರಸ್ವತಿಂ ವ್ಯಾಸಂ ತತೋ ಜಯಮುದೀರಯತೆ. ನಷ್ಟಪ್ರಾಯೇಷು ಅಭದ್ರೇಷು ನಿತ್ಯಂ ಭಾಗವತ ಸೇವಯ ಭಗವತೆ ಉತ್ತಮ ಶ್ಲೋಕೆ ಭಕ್ತಿರ್ಭವತಿ ನೈಷ್ಟಕಿ. ಮೂಕಂ ಕರೋತಿ ವಾಚಾಲಂ ಪಂಗುಂ ಲಂಘಯತೆ ಗಿರಿಂ ಯತ್ಕೃಪಾತಮಹಂ ವಂದೇ ಶ್ರೀಗುರುಂ ದೀನತಾರಿಣಂ. ಚೈತನ್ಯಮೀಶ್ವರಂ ಓಮಜ್ಞಾನತಿಮಿರಂಧಸ್ಯ ಜ್ಞಾನಾಂಜನಶಲಾಕಯ ಚಕ್ಷುರುನ್ಮಿಲಿತಮೇನ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀಗುರುವೇ ನಮಃ. ನಮೋ ಓಂ ವಿಷ್ಣುಪಾದಾಯ ಕೃಷ್ಣಪೃಷ್ಠಾಯ ಭೂತಲೆ ಶ್ರೀಮತೆ ಭಕ್ತಿವೇದಾಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿನಿತಿ ನಾಮಿನೆ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರಸ್ವತೆ ದೇವೆ ಗೌರವಾಣಿ ಪ್ರಚಾರಿಣಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಶೇಷ ಶೂನ್ಯವಾದಿ ಪಾಶ್ಚಾತ್ಯ ದೇಶತಾರಿಣಿ. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम तत्सत. हरे कृष्णा. Thank you all for joining Srimad Bhagavatam study, one of the most auspicious thing in our life. Read Bhagavatam. So we are reading first canto, 9th chapter. Bhishma Deva is passing away. The sloka 9 today. So can
Hare
somebody?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
It is Mariappan Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'll read it. Tan sametan mahabhagan ubalapya
Tan sametan mahabhagan upalabhya vasutamaha pujayam asha dharmajño deshakala vibhagavit.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Bhishma Deva, who was the best amongst the eight Vasus, received and welcomed all the great and powerful rishis who were assembled there, for he knew perfectly all the religious principles according to time and place. Purport. Expert religionists know perfectly well how to adjust religious principles in terms of time and place. All the great acharyas or religious preachers or reformers of the world executed their mission by adjustment of religious principles in terms of time and place. There are different climates and situations in different parts of the world, and if one has to discharge his duties to preach the message of the Lord, he must be expert in adjusting things in terms of the time and place. Bhishma Deva was one of the 12 great authorities in preaching this cult of devotional service, and therefore he could receive and welcome all the powerful sages assembled there at his deathbed from all parts of the universe. He was certainly unable at that time to welcome and receive the physically, because he was neither at his home nor in a normal healthy condition, but he was quite fit by the activities of his sound mind, and therefore he could utter sweet words with hearty expressions, and all of them were well received. One can perform one's duty by physical work, by mind and words, and he knew well how to utilize them in the proper place, and therefore there was no difficulty for him to receive them, although physically unfit. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura,
I'll read it later.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. So here further explained how Bhishma Deva was one of the 8 Vasus, and he was one of the 12 Mahajans. Great personality. So here he welcomed all the great sages, the powerful rishis who were assembled, and he perfectly knew the religious principles according to time, place. So the few lessons we can learn that in our life also, we should know the religious principles. At the same time, we should know how to apply in time, place, circumstances. It's not that everything may be applicable in every time. We have to do little adjust with, provided we have authority. I cannot adjust the scriptures, but I can present in such a way that it's palatable to the people. Actually, Shastra has to be told as it is. Truth has to be told as it is. But at the same time, it can be told without in a very very angering mood or something which will anger others. It can be told such a way that, but at the same time, we have to communicate the truth as it is. So Prabhupada says, expert religionists know perfectly well how to adjust religious principles in terms of time, place, circumstances. So we may not have the authority. Like Srila Prabhupada, he did certain adjustment. Example, in our Sanatana Dharma, nowhere would have seen ladies, Matajis performing Pujari Seva, performing deity worship in the temple in front of everybody. But Srila Prabhupada did that. Because that, he was preaching in America. Mainly that time, the foreigners were equal in all respect. So that's why, he wanted the ladies, so they come forward so that they can also participate in the spiritual activity. So here we can see that how Bhishmadev also could, he can explain the religious principles according to time, place, circumstances. So Bhishmadev is one of the 12 Mahajans, the great authority, is come from Janaka and Sukadeva Goswami, Bali Maharaj and Yamaraj. These are the personalities who are the Mahajans. So he was quite fit in his mind, but physically he was not, because he was lying on a deathbed. So that's the reason he could welcome them with the sweet words. That's what Prabhupada says that. So as a practice in devotees, we should all understand how we welcome the guest at home. Generally said that when any guest comes, the first thing we should give a sweet word, very nicely with the sweet word, welcome them. Then give them some drinking water and give a nice place to sit and give drinking water. Then talk about it. That's a minimum, welcome we have to do it. But today's, people forget the welcoming. They don't even open the door. That is a kind of a culture we developing. But our Indian culture is not like that. Sanatana culture is that whoever comes, they're called Atiti Deva Bhava. Atiti means one who comes without appointment. So they are welcomed such a way that they are, like equivalent to Lord. So, but here Bhishma Dev, when he was in deathbed, lakhs of sages, they came, not the ordinary sages, the great personalities from Parashurama, Parvata Muni, Narada Muni, Vasishtha, Kashyapa, all these great personalities, they were there to just, see Bhishma Dev, who is living body. So the point is that we should also aspire the day I leave the body, let the devotees be there. Let them chant the holy name, so that, because at the time of leaving the body, my body will give so much pain. The Bhagavatam talks about, because of the mucus, because of the pain in the body, the urine will be passed, the stool will be passed. But at that time also, if I have to remember, it's very, very difficult. That's why generally when somebody is leaving body, devotees go and do kirtan. They chant holy name, they read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, so that the person leaving the body could hear, he could remember the Lord. Antakalecha mame kasmanukta kalevaram. Krishna says, one who remembers me at the time of death, he attains my position, my abode. So we have to aspire that even if I forget, let my devotees come and chant the holy name in my deathbed, so that I can remember the Lord and leave this body. That's why Prabhupada says, he knew well that how to utilize them in a proper place. Therefore, there was no difficulty for him to receive them, although physically unfit. So in our case also, we may not have the physical capacity to welcome, give everything, but mentally at least we can do. There is nothing, no loss to offer something in mentally, because in olden age, unless you give something physically, you will not get benefit. But in Kali Yuga, even if you don't give it, just think about giving something good or something to others, you get a benefit. That's the advantage of Kali Yuga. So at least now we should think about doing good for others. So what happens when you do charity, when you do good to others? Naturally, the positive energy develops in the body. That gives you happiness. The happiness what we get by giving will not get by getting. So that's why charity has to be done by everyone, so that we all become good human beings. Okay, we'll move on to the next sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Extend
Ashama.
Krishnam cha tat prabhavajna asinam jagad ishwaram hridistam pujayam asa mayaya uppata vigraham. Translation and purport by His Grace Divine A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Shri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishma Deva, and since Bhishma Deva knew of his glories, he worshipped him duly. Purport. The Lord's omnipotency is displayed by his simultaneous presence in every place. He is present always in his eternal abode, Goloka Vrindavana, and still he is present in everyone's heart and even within every invisible atom. When he manifests his eternal transcendental form in the material world, he does so by his internal potency. The external potency or the material energy has nothing to do with his eternal form. All these truths were known to Sri Vishwadeva, who worshipped him accordingly. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Further, Lord Krishna is situated in everyone's hearts. We all know that Paramatma is there in our heart. And Paramatma is there, every jiva, even the smallest to the biggest. He doesn't give anyone, he doesn't spare anyone. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter 29th verse, Bhokta Rajatapasa Sarva Loka Maheshwara Suhurdam Sarva Bhutanam Jnatmam Shanti Rachati says. He is a Suhurd. Suhurd means dearest friend who will never give up. Whatever I do, Krishna will never give up. We may have so many friends, but if there is something goes wrong, they'll give up. If I make loss in my business or if I'm suffering, they will not to come near, because everything well, they'll be with me. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna, whatever situation, he will be there. He is there always to protect Jiva. He is there always to give right enlightenment. As Chaitya Guru, who is Paramatma in our heart, is called Chaitya Guru, who is the first Guru, who gives inspiration, who gives knowledge, who gives motivation from within. So that Krishna as Paramatma is a dearmost friend, is there, and he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. Krishna has got two potencies: internal potency, external potency. With internal potency, he manifests certain things, and external potency, he manifests the material world, Maya. This very Lord is sitting before Bhishma Dev, and that Lord, Paramatma, Sri Krishna, standing before Supreme Lord now. So this is standing before Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev was aspiring to see Lord, face to face, so that he can leave this body. Seeing his beautiful form, that was Bhishma Dev's desire. That's why Krishna came there and is standing in front of them. And since Bhishma Dev knew his glories, because Bhishma Dev knew very well Krishna's glories, it's not that he did not knew. He fought against Krishna, but at the same time, he knew Krishna very well. We know how the Bhishma Dev was fighting for Kauravas. One day, so happened that he literally injured Arjuna. So that time, Krishna took up a chariot wheel. Actually, Krishna taken vow that I will never fight. I'll never take a weapon. But when Arjuna was injured, Krishna jumped from the chariot, took a chariot wheel, which is a big wheel, and ran towards Bhishma Dev to hit Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev was saying that Bhishma put his weapon down. He said, "My lord, I was waiting for this to see. I wanted to see this scene. I wanted you to take up the weapon to protect your duties, because you are the, Bhakta Vatsala. You are the protector of devotees. I wanted to prove that. And now hit me. I'm ready to die." So Bhishma Dev, who was Icha Marani, he says, "I'm ready to leave." So this is the Bhishma Dev's potency. And Prabhupada says, Lord's omnipotency is displayed by his simultaneous presence in every place. Omnipotency means he can do whatever in anywhere. Like, for example, he can eat through eyes. He can eat through his ears. He can walk through the eyes. So interchangeably, he can use his senses. So that is the potency of the Lord. His present is always eternal abode of Goloka. His original place is Goloka Vrindavan. Brahma Samhita gives his name, address, form, etc. So his original house, original form, but he is there everywhere. When he manifests an eternal transcendental form in the material world, he does so by internal potency. So he appears in the material world in the two-handed form, the human form, so that people like us can appreciate, we are able to recognize. So here, all these truths were known to Bhishma Dev, who was worshipped by him accordingly. So Bhishma Dev worshipped Krishna in that Parthasarathi form. Parthasarathi means the one who sits in the chariot of Partha. Bhishma Dev worshipped him that form because Bhishma Dev wanted to see Krishna in that form. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Mayopatha Vigraham can mean Krishna who had a conflict, Vigraha, with the Yudhishthira by covering up his discrimination with his Yoga Maya. Or it means that Krishna who bought himself before the eyes of Bhishma, Upattha, by mercy of Maya. So Krishna's mercy is so much that he gave Bhishma Dev the real form. Hare Krishna. Read the next one.
Text 11. Panduputran upasinan prashyaya prema sangatan abhyachastanu ragashray andibhutena chakshusa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Vijay. The sons of Maharaja Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Bhishma Deva congratulated them with feeling. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes, for he was overwhelmed by love and affection. Purport: when Maharaja Pandu died, his sons were all small children, and naturally they were brought up under the affection of elderly members of the royal family, especially by Bhishma Deva. Later on, when the Pandavas were grown up, they were cheated by cunning Duryodhana and company. And Bhishma Deva, although he knew that the Pandavas were innocent and were unnecessarily put into trouble, could not take the side of the Pandavas for political reasons. At the last stage of his life, when Bhishma Deva saw his most exalted grandsons, headed by Maharaja Yudhishthira, sitting very gently at his side, the great warrior grandfather could not check his loving tears, which were automatically flowing from his eyes. He remembered the great tribulations suffered by his most pious grandsons. Certainly, he was the most satisfied man because of Yudhishthira's being enthroned in place of Duryodhana, and thus he became to congratulate them.
Hare Krishna. Actually, Bhishma Dev wanted to see Yudhishthira to be enthroned, Yudhishthira to be the king, because he had always soft corner for Pandavas, because Pandavas were the legal heirs, rightful legal heirs for the dynasty. But because of the Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana's cheating, they lost their power. They were been asked to go to the forest for so many years. They were asked to live incognito, Ajnatavasa, for a year. All this happened. They had to suffer so much because of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, the team of Kauravas. Here said the sons of Maharaja Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for the dying grandfather. So similarly, Pandavas, Arjuna had so much love for Bhishma Dev. That is the one reason when Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, Arjuna says to Krishna, how can I kill my grandfather? How can I shoot arrow to my grandfather? So he is my dearmost grandfather. How can I do that? So this is how Arjuna expresses. Seeing this, Bhishma Dev congratulated the feeling happiness because Yudhishthira Maharaj is being enthroned as a king. There were the tears of ecstasy, the tears of happiness from the eyes of Bhishma Dev. It is not because of sorrow, it's because of happiness. So because of love and affection. When Maharaj Pandu died, his sons were very small, and naturally they were brought up under the affection of the elderly members of the royal family. Specifically Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev, the childhood itself, he was always caring for Pandavas. But because he had a kind of taken vow that I'll protect Kuru dynasty, and he has taken a kind of the meal from Kauravas. He fought for Kauravas. Again, there is a big plan of Lord, because Lord wanted to teach the whole world. The person like Bhishma, who was not ordinary person, who was Icha Marani, the great warrior, when he goes against Dharma, he will also be killed. He will also be defeated. That's the message Bhishma Dev wanted to give to the whole world, because he himself put that position so that whole world can, however maybe I'm powerful, however energy I may have, however the wealth may have, however intelligent I may be, but if I go against Dharma, I'll be finished. That is a message Bhishma Dev wanted to give to the whole world. So Pandavas were innocent or were unnecessarily put in trouble. That's what Prabhupada says there. And okay, so they were remembered by the great tribulation of the suffered by his past grandsons. He always remembered their grandsons' difficulties. So the most satisfied man, because he wanted to see his grandson Yudhishthira in the throne. That's why Bhishma Dev was so happy at the time of death. Read the next one.
Next one, next 12, text 12. Anybody wants to read?
Please go ahead.
Prabhuji and Mataji. I did not allocate Prabhuji, thinking
Hare
that
Krishna.
this is enough for today. So, anybody wants to read, or should I read?
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, shall I read?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna. Aho kashtam, aho nai.
I'll read the sloka for you.
Yes, yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Aho kastam aho nyayam yadyuyam nandanaha Jeevitam narhata klishtam vipradharma chu ashrayaha.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhishma Deva said, "Oh, what a terrible suffering and what terrible injustice you good souls suffer for being the sons of a religion personified. You do not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. Yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion." Purport. Maharaja Yudhishthira was disturbed due to the great massacre in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Bhishmadeva could understand this, and therefore he spoke first of the terrible suffering of Maharashtra Yudhishthira. He was put into difficulty by the injustice only, and the battle of Kurukshetra was fought just to counteract this injustice. Therefore, he should not regret the great massacre. He wanted to point out particularly that they were always protected by the Brahmanas, the Lord, and religious principles. As long as they were protected by these three important items, there was no cause of disappointment. Thus, Bhishmadeva encouraged Maharaja Yudhishthira to dispel this his despondency. As long as person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and strictly following religious principle, one has no cause for despondency. However, trying the circumstances of life, Bhishmadeva, as one of the authorities in the line, wanted to impress this point upon the Pandavas.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada ki jai. So here further said that Bhishmadev said, "Oh, what a terrible suffering, what terrible injustice you good souls to suffer, the sons of religion personified." Because sons of religion personified, because the Pandavas were like Yudhishthira was son of the Dharmaraj, Arjuna was son of Indra, and Bhima was son of Vayu, and Nakula Sahadeva, sons of Ashwini Kumaras. They were all sons of the great personalities. At the same time, they are Panduputras. You did not deserve to remain alive because of the so much trouble, you were saved by the Lord only. Otherwise, you would have been killed by the Duryodhana and team. So yet you were protected by Brahmana, God, and religion. So these are the three things Bhishmadev talks. As a practicing devotees, as devotees, we should remember this. We should protect Brahmanas. We should always worship Lord, and we should always protect our religion. These three things, Dharma Rakshati Rakshita. So when we protect Dharma, Dharma will protect us. If we protect Brahmanas, Brahmana will protect us. And if we worship Lord, He will protect us. These three things we should always keep in mind. Brahmana means need not be by birth. One who is practicing the Chaturvanya Maya Sishta Guna Karma Vibhaksha, Krishna says, one guna and karma, one who follows the Brahmanical culture, one who follows the Brahmanical nature, one who does Brahmanical activities, he is to be protected. And we should worship Krishna and we should follow the religion. What is religion? Religion, Prabhupada says that the religion that teaches how to love God, that is a real religion. Not that religion teaches hatred. So the first and foremost, the goal of Sanatana Dharma is to attain the love of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna Prema is our Godhead. When we love Krishna, naturally we love everyone. So that's a part and parcel of our activity. That's why the religion that teaches how to love God is considered as topmost. So Brahmana and Lord and religious principle. That's why Bhishmadev says, you are protected by them. You are protected Brahmana because you always follow Dharma. You are protected by Krishna, who is Lord, and you are protected by the religion. So here Vishwanath Chakratakura writes that the word dangerous, kshatam, or improper, anyayavayam, do not really apply to king. to whom do their word refer to? The improper situation has arisen because of Vishnu, the mover and maintainer of the whole universe. You should not live your life in suffering. Krishna Clistum taken adverbally. If others live like that, that is no concern. That is their concern. So it's because of the Lord Vishnu's mercy, only the Pandavas were saved. That's why Bhishmadev is glorifying their the real nature, and they are protected by the Lord himself. We'll stop here. Devotees can share their comments, thoughts. Please go ahead. Okay. Yeah, who want to share? Okay, we'll start with the maybe Varsha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the class. So today I understood that Bhishma was one among the 12 Vasus, and he was suffered to make to give us a lesson that how much ever powerful I am, but if I am on the wrong side, if I have done anything wrong, I will be punished for sure. For that, it was understood. And next point takeaway was God will stay in everyone's heart, whatever situation, He'll be there to protect us and provide enlightenment and motivation from for us to inside. He is the greatest friend. Everyone may leave, but he will not. And the next point is God is omnipotence, Prabhuji. That is, he can do whatever he wants with any indriyas. He is not like us. And the next thing I learned today is that real religion is one which teaches love towards Lord, and our goal is to attain the love of the Godhead and to protect Vaishnavas and Brahmanas and Dharma Rakshata, how you said. That's all I learned, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes. Ramesh Prabhu, anything you want to say?
No problem.
Okay. Puja Mataji. Sumit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing I have understood about whatever the Varsha Mataji said. No, I agree with that. Yeah, that was my point too.
Okay. Okay. Sumit Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Sorry, I was in meeting also parallelly. So, but for Bhishma Deva, Lord also know the what Bhishma Deva wishes to see King Duryodhan and rest of the Pandavas like in the that they are now got their kingdom, and that's why Krishna told Pandavas to go in the royal clothes and with all the paraphernalia. So that's the quality of Krishna. See, he knows what the devotees are thinking, what they want, and that he has proven in the battle also when Bhishma Deva has taken a vow to that he will that means he will make the Lord to take the weapons. So Lord wanted to like whatever the devotees said that should happen, and because of that he broke his own promise of not taking the weapons, and he took out the weapons just to make that right, like whatever Bhishmadev said that should be true. So that is the promise that he has given, that my devotees word should be true always. That's what he said, like Arjun, you just declare that my devotee never perish, because whatever the devotee say, he has to make it true. So that is the hope for us. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vijay.
Spiritual messages are to be conveyed and shared as it is, without my own inputs and deviations, Prabhuji. Guests must be welcome with sweet words in Aditi Deva Bhava. From Bhishma Deva, I must learn. Person who is about to leave the body must be facilitated for hearing Harinama. At least think and aspire to do best possible things to fellow human beings in this Kali Yuga. Lord Krishna is the best friend for all Jivatmas. He never lets down to fall any of the soul. To protect devotees, leaving all dharmas, he comes for the rescue. He is Bhaktavachala and Partha Saradi. He is Sarati for Partha. So he is called as Partha Sarati in Triplicate, Chennai. And that form is worshipped by Bhishma Deva. And the strong message from the character of Bhishma Deva by Lord is, however one is great, anyone who fails to establish dharma will be definitely punished. That I must always imbibe in my mind. If anyone is advised and guided by authenticated religion of Sanatana Dharma and Brahmana, he is he can achieve the pure devotee level, and the religion is to love Godhead. That much I have understood, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you. Murali Prabhu, understand anything?
Yes, Prabhu. What the previous speaker spoke, that Krishna knows everything about
Yeah.
us. I like.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank
Vidya
you.
Mataji, anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You
Mhm.
asked me, Prabhuji?
Yeah, if you want to share anything.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Bhishma Deva, he is one of the 12 Mahajanas. And he has that cult of devotional service. So, he could receive and welcome powerful sages during his deathbed, because his mind and his senses are alert. So he could welcome and receive them physically, because he was normal. Only his physically he's not well, but he's mentally okay. So he could receive all the sages and all during the deathbed. Then so Lord Sri Krishna also was present, because Krishna is omnipotent. Lord Krishna was present there. Since Krishna, he manifests his transcendental form in his internal potency. So he sat beside Bhishma Deva. Then when Maharaja Pandu died, the children were very small. So in the royal family, Bhishma Deva took care, is the grandfather of Pandavas. Bhishma Deva took care of them when they were young. But later on, because of the political reasons, he could not take care. But during his death, all the 5 Pandavas, headed by Yudhishthira, they sat near the Bhishma Deva, and immediately Bhishma Deva, with compassion, he burst tears, and he felt that sadness. Then and the last text is 12. We should protect religion, cows and brahmanas. Dharmo rakshata rakshati. When the religion is protected, the religion, cows and brahmanas should be protected. Dharmo rakshata rakshati. That's what are some of the points which I could remember in
Thank you,
this
Prabhu.
class.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Children, Jnanashri, Chandan Raj, you want to say anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Asha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, 2
Okay.
takeaways. I should aspire to chant holy name all the time and to such extent that while even leaving my body, I should be able to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Devotees chant and read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra when someone is leaving the body. And then I should always think of doing good to others. Happiness is not in giving, is in giving, but not in getting. And the Supreme is in everyone's heart, and He is the dearest friend. Friends may leave us and go, but Krishna will be with us in whatever situation we are in. That is my takeaway for today's class. Prabhuji, Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you. Archana Mataji, anything to say?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, I understood. Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll see you on Monday evening, 9 o'clock Bhagavatam, 7 o'clock for Kannada Bhagavad Gita. Monday 7 to 8 Kannada Bhagavad Gita, 9 to 9:30 Bhagavatam. Okay, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Danda
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.